Hey, how's it going? And today this is just kind of an exploration, kind of a mind bender for me. And we're just exploring the environment light in Lightwave. And I was just getting really confused about something, and then I I felt like I kind of went behind the looking glass here. So let me just show you what I'm going to do real fast. So we're in layout right now, and we're just going to go to the cube here, and I'll go okay. And then here on this cube, and this is just for reference, so we don't go insane. Like, what's that movie, Tenet? Okay, so let's put a surface on this too. So we'll just go into here and grab a checkerboard and pop that in here. And we want the projection to be cubic, and then we're going to scale it down to 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. There we go. And this just gives us a reference object that we'll be using. And we can't see anything, so we have to go into VPR. Okay, so there we have our reference. So now what's confusing about all this is this environment light. So there's really, in my mind, there's almost no difference between the environment light and the textured environment. They're like one and the same. And so this is our normal backdrop here. And you'll notice if we come into the environment light and we turn off use global, which is the backdrop is providing our global illumination right now, it goes off, right? So the only thing lighting the scene right now is we have another light in, and it's just lighting this one plane. So, but if we turn that on, then the backdrop's providing the global illumination. If we turned off this light, we wouldn't see anything. So, but what we can do is if we right click, we can add, of course, here comes the textured environment. Here it is. And we can need a texture. And so you can use any HDRI image for this. And so I'll use the same one I used in my last tutorial I just did. And then it comes in, and now we have global illumination, and we can see all the sides and everything. So but this is just supposed to be for lighting, right? But yet we can see the background here in the image. We have to switch this to spherical, and then we have to switch the projection, and it looks like a halfway decent backdrop for your foreground object right here. We're still getting lighting from this light here, and if I wanted to fix that, I could just go into this light, click here, and then just sample from the screen a color to better match, so then the lighting fills in a little bit evenly there. So we've got that going on. But here's what happened. So, okay, so one thing that's confusing about this is we have a couple of ways to maneuver in the scene here. One is with we got to go into camera view. So one way we can kind of maneuver this scene is with our focal length on our camera. We can zoom in or out. And here the proportions, when I do that, they don't look half bad. But then if I want to move this image, I have to go into the textured environment here under not on the camera, on the environment light. So I have to go into the textured environment, and these controls will become very important here really quick. So if I come into rotation here, now I can move the environment light background too, right? So it's very interesting, right? And the dimensions on this don't look terribly spherized, if I can use that word. But here's what started this whole thing. Was I was looking at this, you ever see that scene from Blade Runner where he's looking through photos? Scanning into the photos. But I was just noticing that Happy New Year is backwards, or reversed, like we're on the other side of the looking glass. And I thought that was really curious, and I didn't know if they put the side backward. I don't know if they'd done that on purpose or if that's how it was, but it seemed odd, but then there's a lot of things odd in the world. So then I noticed if you play with the offset here and we go negative, we start going negative. It is negative, right? I had to take some notes on this because this is all freaking me out. If I go negative, we've right here at 1 millimeter, we cross through the looking glass, right? So we're here. and we coming back in. So like I think I had it 1.3. Is that right? Do I have to change my, hope I'm getting this right. So let me just look around here. Of course this doesn't look right at all at the moment. That's what I had it before, but I think maybe I have to pull in closer. No, this can't be right. I don't think that's right. So it's still reversed. So there's a point at which I want to say there's a sweet spot. And I might have to adjust my camera settings here. I don't have it yet. Don't tell me I'm going to bog down. See, there's our reference. It's not scale, I don't think. Maybe this scale is involved. So it might be scale is involved a little bit here. I didn't look at my scale setting. But remember, to move, we need to go here. And look, it's correct now. Something's happened. So anyway, I guess you do have to play around with the scale, these values, these three, you know, like the offset here, adjusting the offset, adjusting the scale, and your lens. So between these three, you can actually get yourself in a position where everything looks halfway normal. Now here's where everything started too. Then was I'm inside now this spherical object or whatever, and now it seems like I'm in the correct perspective or whatever, aspect ratio and everything, and maybe there's some bending here, but I'm wondering if I can't fix that through the camera properties. Here, back, I lost that. Through my focal length here. And I think I can, quite a bit. I mean, I think it's back to the scale. I'd have to just play around with them. But what I was going to show you was, on the environment light, if we go into the textured environment here, so I guess it really is the scale, seems to normalize it quite a bit. Hey, due to a copyright issue on the last part of this tutorial, I had to cut the original audio, so I'm just adding this in at the last minute, so that's a whole nother story about the copyright thing. But anyway, here I'm just talking about the settings and how you just have to play around with them here, the scaling and the offset and the focal length on the camera, and then basically just setting the object reference here on the textured environment. And then here actually I make a mistake and I rotate the environment light, and that's an error, and I needed to set it to the object itself, so it was just a mistake. But anyway, I use this music that I create in GarageBand and stuff on a lot of my tutorials, and when I upload that music, sometimes YouTube will cite it as a copyright, but to me it's music that's right off of GarageBand that doesn't seem like it's copyrightable, but I guess people are copywriting loops off of GarageBand, so even if you use GarageBand or Ableton Live or something for your background music, you can get a copyright issue over that. So that's kind of strange that I guess you have to be careful when you use looped publicly available applications. But anyway, that's a different topic for another day, but thanks for watching, and I'm going to play around with this effect some more. So take care, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.